All right, welcome back, guys. It's interesting this recording. I have no idea when it starts because it doesn't give me like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, you're recording. So half the time I'm cut off in the beginning, or I'm starting from the middle of what I was saying. So I tried to wait. Hopefully, I'm recording now. So here we go. Okay, so in our last video, we pretty much sliced our website out in Photoshop. So now in this one, we're gonna set up our site and we're gonna go ahead and start building our HTML structure for our website. We don't really have a lot of structure for the website. This should be fairly easy for us to do. So what we're gonna do now is we want to make sure that, of course, Dreamweaver is active, and we want to go ahead and set up our site. Now, we don't have a site set up, maybe. I know in my case, I deleted it from the other videos that weren't recording, just so that we could do this step together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to site. I'm gonna do new sites, and then I get, of course, the setup site dialog box. Here I'm gonna name this one. What did we name this one? I don't know why I keep forgetting this name. SeaLife. Okay, and I have to tell it, hey, it's in this folder right here. So I'm going to navigate to the folder. And then I'm going to navigate, for me, see, we're in week 6. So I'm going to navigate to there. And then I'm going to choose. Well, actually, okay. So I'm in week 6. Sorry, I got distracted by noise outside. And what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to right click, or I can choose new folder down here. So either way, if you don't have right click, don't even worry about it. Just choose new folder. And then, of course, our dialog box comes up for that. I'm going to choose, let's see, SeaLife. And I'm going to do _LRF. Okay, and now I'm going to create. Once I have this, I have my local root folder created. I'm going to choose 2 more folders that I want. I want to make sure, you know what, scratch that, because I think I have a folder set up, because when I went for, I sure do. Okay, but anyway, just in case, just to show you how to do this is a good practice anyway. So SeaLife LRF, inside of here, I would do new folder, and I would type images, and then I would choose create, and then I would choose to have, what's the other folder for? Styles. So I can go to new folder, and I can type CSS just for my styles, and I can choose create. So inside of my local root folder, the way it should look is I should have a SeaLife _LRF inside of there, which stands for my local root folder. Inside of there, I have a CSS folder, and I have an images folder. And then I would choose create, or, you know, what have you. But since I already have one outside of here that I was working on, I'm going to go ahead and here to the one that I already set up, because that's the one that has my images inside of it. Okay, but remember, again, that was just to show you, if you don't have your setup, how to do it. So I'm going to choose the local root folder here, SeaLife LRF, and I'm going to choose. And then I want to go to advanced settings, and I want to go to this default images folder. Double click on that. I'm going to choose images, make sure I see those in there, and then choose. Once I have all that set, I'm going to choose save. Okay, so now I have my site set up. We are ready to go in here and start setting up our HTML, the structure for our site. So that being said, let's go to File. Let's go to New. I think I hit an ice cream truck, folks. Tell you, it's crazy. It's summer, maybe. Sort of, kind of, some days. Anyway, and the page type is going to be HTML. Doc type will be HTML5, and I'm going to choose Create. As always, with any new site that we create, the first thing that we want to do is we want to save it. So we'll go to File. I'm going to save as, or I can just choose Save. This one, we're going to name this one, we're kind of setting up our layout. I always name the home page Home, but for this, let's go ahead and name this one layout.html. This will be a throwaway file, actually, but it's just something that we use to build our site up. So we're kind of making a template without making a template, but setting up the template. All right, so I'm going to choose Save As, and I'm going to choose Save. Okay. Now, that being saved, the next thing that we want to do that we forget about a lot is we want to title this one. So right here where it says untitled document, actually let me make my font bigger so that you guys can see what I'm actually doing. I'm gonna go to preferences. Sorry about that, guys. And I'm just gonna make the site or the fonts a little bigger for you guys so that you can see it. It's at 10 point. Let me try 16 point and see if that works. It's a little bigger. Let's try maybe 20 point. I'm hoping that's big enough. And I'm gonna 20 point looks big enough for me, but just in case, I don't want you guys to. All right, there we go. So there is. It is at 24 points. Now I'm gonna lose real estate making it like this, but I want to make sure that you guys can see it. So, all right. So with my title, because I'm doing this so small, I may have to switch the code view where we won't see that other panel, but that's okay because we use the browser anyway. That's what we believe in, right? So for our title, I'm going to choose SeaLife and then colon, and then I'm just going to say layout for this one because that's what this is. So I just chose SeaLife and then colon layout. Actually, I think I kept SeaLife as one word, sort of camel cased. I'll keep it like that. All right, so I'm gonna save. All right, so now that we have that information in here, something that we can go ahead and do, or we can wait to do it. Yeah, let's just wait to do it. So the next thing we're gonna set up, remember, anything that we want seen in our website happens inside of the body area, right? Right? Okay. Right? Okay, so the first thing we want is we have this wrapper. So let's go ahead and remember our wrapper is an ID. So I'm going to type div ID equals quote quote right bracket, and then we'll go inside the quotes and type our name for it, which is wrapper. For every open, we must have a close. So once we do our left bracket and backspace, it puts that in there. I like to also put our comments in here. Remember, the comments help us identify what this little generic tag of div goes to. Okay, so once we have wrapper set, I'm going to tab inside of that blank space that we created. Inside of wrapper, we have header, remember? So let's just go ahead and put in our header. Slash for header. If you want to see your information, like if you're like, oh, I don't see it in there, you can actually type the word header, and that'll actually help you see that everything is in here correctly. So if I do that, see, notice it shows up over here for header. All right, next thing is our nav. We have our nav, so let's go ahead and then we just write the word nav. Just kind of gives us that instant gratification. Don't write nav like I just did because that's not how you spell it. All right, so nav. Okay, so then the next thing, well, inside of nav, actually, we have information that we can put in here. So we can put that home. Remember, I like the pipe, so I put the pipe there, about, pipe, C, info, space, and then a pipe, and then contact. All right, so our next area that we have is our aside area. Remember, for our sidebars. So let's go ahead and type aside. We'll put aside. And then we have our main area. So we could just put main. Main is a bit tricky. Actually, what? Look at that. On mine, main pops in. Sometimes it's tricky. Sometimes it's not. Main likes to be a wrapper, actually. So main does not like really any. It doesn't like to be inside of stuff. Now, main doesn't mind being inside a wrapper, but it doesn't like being inside of like a side and inside of nav and stuff like that. And it acts really, really interesting. So if you ever see main acting silly, there could be a reason behind that. But it's in a great mood tonight, so this is cool. So let's do footer. But if you're trying to style it and it's not complying the way it should, then check to see what it's inside of. All right, so we have footer. So now we have pretty much everything that we need for our HTML side to go ahead and get started building our CSS. So I'm gonna save, and that, my friends, is the structure of our website. Our structure is pretty solid. The next thing that I want to do is go ahead and create that CSS document so we can put it inside of our layout.html. And the way that we're going to do that, since we have a little time, we might as well do it now. So let's go to File, let's go to New, and then let's go to CSS right here, and then let's choose Create. Okay, it gives us this CSS document. All we're doing right now is just setting this up. So we're going to File, let's do Save As, and we want to navigate to where we created that folder for our styles. You know what? That was on the other one. So we didn't create one here. Remember, I created another one just to show you guys. So I had it in there. So where's the SeaLife LRF? If you have your CSS folder, you're good. I don't, so I need to go ahead and create one. So it says SeaLife_LRF. I'm going to go to New Folder, and I'm just going to type CSS. And I'm going to choose Create, and now I'll see that folder inside of here. So you should see CSS, Images, and Support, and then that layout.html file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click inside of the CSS folder so I can activate it. And then I'm going to type in here for the Save As. I'm going to name this one Global. So global.css, choose Save. Now I have it saved. It is set up and it is ready for us to go ahead and do our CSS. I'm going to close this. And then now what I want to do is I want to link that CSS style sheet to our HTML file. So the way that I'm going to do that is inside of the head area is where it's going to sit. So right before this closing head, I'm going to put my cursor right there to the left of the bracket that's at the closing head. I'm going to hit return one time. I'm going to backspace, and for this one, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the style sheet for a style. So I'm going to navigate to my files panel. I'm going to click on CSS, drill down with that arrow. So I clicked on the arrow so that it reveals what's inside of it. I'm going to grab this global.css file, and I'm just going to drag and drop it right here, right before the closing head. And it says link, relative, style sheet, type. This is so funny because we don't even need this anymore. The W3C made it so that we don't need it. But it's okay if it's there. It doesn't harm it. We just don't have to have it. And then that href equals css/global.css. All right, so this is in here. I'm going to choose Save. And now it is ready for us to go ahead and start setting up our styles, which is going to happen in our next video. All right, so I will see you in a moment.